Part 3. Parents who force their children into the psychiatric mess should have them permanently taken away and legally banned from parenting. Better yet, criminalize rogue psychiatry. I still have records about me which supposedly chronicle my entire life and are filled with ignorant opinions, lies, and slander. This 35-year-long rap sheet labels me as defective instead of the perpetrators of this bile. If parents love their children, why send them to psychiatrists and psychologists to change their vital personhood? Instead of comforting those with ongoing sadness, which would likely solve the problem, cold parents, teachers, and employers generally don't want to deal with it. They shirk their responsibility and throw the person to psychiatrists and psychologists. Many parents never wanted to hear about anyone else's problems. They went beyond uncaring, stating that hearing about someone else's problems was like that person so-called vomiting on them. After 35 years of professionals frittering with wild and contradictory theories and diagnoses, at age 40 I diagnosed myself, and don't give me any hard time saying that I did not diagnose myself. You're ignorant. You're an idiot. I diagnosed myself with autism spectrum disorder, which diagnosis everyone immediately fell in line with. This shows how blithering and incompetent the psychiatric profession is. Yet boys being medicated to blend in with girls is now commonplace, instead of having separate boys and girls schools and enough special education schools. Besides the school system, many churchgoers have also swallowed lots of psychobabble. Healthy alternatives. Much of what psychiatrists do can easily be accomplished by standard practice medical doctors. Often patients see their primary care physician for simple problems, which physician shirks that simple responsibility and refers them to a psychiatrist or psychologist. The psychiatrists/psychologists often spend only, the psychiatrists, the psychologist will give you almost an hour. They call 50 minutes an hour. They try to cheat you in every way they can. The psychiatrist, though, will spend usually only 15 minutes with the patient, maybe less, or 10 of which are used up with making, or pissed away just for making sure the patient's insurance covers the bills. And then that's really helping, just collecting the money. Prescriptions for medication are quickly prescribed. If the problem is so-called depression, any number of obsessive-compulsive behaviors, panic attacks, bulimia, or premature ejaculation, serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, such as fluoxetine, paroxetine, sertraline, citalopram, which have various brand names, such as Prozac is a famous one, are almost invariably prescribed. These drugs help greatly, but since they're as harmless as over-the-counter medications, and the complicated process by which they work is already understood, a high school graduate could competently prescribe them. Even if powerful medication with side effects is necessary, there's no reason why standard medical doctors cannot prescribe them. Nobody has mastered the human brain to ensure precise diagnoses anyway. Since psychiatrists regularly misdiagnose patients and prescribe the wrong medication, let's eliminate these pseudo-specialists from the doctor-patient equation. A common phenomenon throughout human history, ongoing sadness, has been redefined as depression, the most common diagnosis. However, the human person has apparently been created to be active at all times, mentally, physically, and socially. Keeping oneself as active as possible may counteract or eliminate ongoing sadness altogether. Regardless, happiness, which could be a bad thing, could be because it's complacency. Of course, everybody wants to be happy, but unnatural happiness is wrong, of course. Only natural happiness. Happiness should come through achievement, not from brainwashing oneself with the so-called power of positive thinking or by taking so-called happy pills. Without achievement, unhappiness is unnatural. We want to be happy, but we got to achieve as best we can. Casual psychological and psychiatric help can be beneficial because doctors, friends, parents, teachers, and religious leaders often shirk responsibility or are unavailable. So sometimes there's nobody else to talk to. But with friends, a wise older person to regularly confide in, a standard practice doctor to prescribe medication, and highly involving hobbies and interests, there is absolutely no need for psychiatrists or psychologists. Psychiatric diagnoses versus Christian diagnoses. In state hospitals, undoubtedly many patients feign insanity to escape prison, such as Randall Patrick Murphy in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Others are mentally handicapped adults dumped there because nobody wants to live with or care for them. Yet others are actually extremely damaged, but it's from the drugs and abuse they've gotten from hospital staff, and some are demon-possessed. Many such cases have been caught on camera. Apparent demon possession. When the Lord Jesus Christ healed people, he did not distinguish between physical and mental ailments, since the brain is part of the physical body. After healing people, he left their dignity intact. As for healing people of demon possession, nobody ever asked Christ to help someone whom he felt was demon possessed, only to be told, "You're mistaken, he's not demon possessed, he needs psychiatric help." Modern specialists state that certain types of mental conditions can be confused with demon possession, which is like rediscovering electricity. We've known that forever. Since 1573, decree of the Synod of Reims, churchmen warned about the danger of mistaking mental conditions for demon possession long before psychiatry debuted. Stay tuned for part 4.